Here. Hey, y'all, this is our first live and in-person session. Come on now.
I saw Ontario. Hello, Ontario. I'm glad we got some northern neighbors.
Who else do you want to say hi to? Hey, John. Oh, John. Hey.
I saw Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hello, Indiana.
Greg's in the house. Ruth's in the house. Michelle's in the house.
Awesome. Michelle, welcome.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all, thank you so much for being here today, my butter fam. Y'all, I am so happy to be here with y'all. I'm so happy to see y'all. You already know how we do it in the Butter Fam. I'm Floyd. I'm coming to you live from New York. We're in Harlem today. I oversee community and partnerships at Givebutter. You already know that I'm an Enneagram 3, okay? And I actually have a nice little QR code. We're being hip this year. We're being hip and forward, y'all. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn or connect with me over email, scan that QR code and let's stay in touch, y'all. Also, you already know Givebutter. For the new friends in the house who are here, we are the most loved nonprofit fundraising platform. Just recently rated #1 again. What's higher than #1 in the words of Jay-Z? Come on, somebody. But I love you. You know us. We love us. We are Givebutter. We're here for you. Y'all, we have some updates. Have you heard of our office hours by any chance? Have y'all heard of our office hours? Okay, if you have not heard of office hours, you need to get familiar. We are actually doing office hours with our success team. We talk about this is an opportunity to go deep, okay? Yes, our webinars are great and we go wide, but our office hours are a chance to go deep. You're gonna talk about donor engagement. You're gonna talk about fundraising strategy, how to navigate the platform, and so many other things. So if you haven't checked out our office hours, I want you to check them out. If you've been there, okay, Kristen said office hours are amazing. George has been there, come on, y'all. So if you've ever been to office hours and you haven't checked them out, make sure you check them out. Okay, guys, you know we love you. Givebutter is all about giving. Come on, somebody. And we have a fun giveaway for you. So we are going to plan giving. And guess what? This was planned. This giveaway was planned. Come on, somebody. Okay, so we are giving a very own planned giving power toolkit, okay, from Tony. He has planned giving accelerator. So we are going to go through all the strategies and everything that you need to know throughout this session. But if you want more information, if you want to join the planned giving accelerator, scan that QR code. You already know what to do. Scan the QR code, get on the list, and get the planned giving resource. We're also going to put it in the follow-up email. So if you miss it right now, you'll get another chance. Grace also put the link in there as well, but make sure you scan it. Y'all, I'm feeling good. Are y'all feeling good today? There's an energy happening in the interwebs. I'm feeling good. If you put in, okay, Allison's feeling good. Who else is feeling good? Jennifer's feeling good. Emily's feeling good. I love it. Oh, Tony's feeling good. Come on, Tony. Tony's feeling good.
I love face-to-face, real life.
Okay, tell the people,
never happens anymore.
People about the giveaway.
Oh, this is my PDF. Unleash the game-changing power of planned giving. Because you can bring planned giving to your small, mid-sized nonprofit. That's why you're here.
Exactly.
But if you want a little more detail, just snap that code and you'll get the download. And look at us together. I mean, it's just it just doesn't happen hardly anymore. So I love it.
And the flesh.
We're together in Harlem.
I love it. Y'all, okay, so you know the rules with housekeeping. The recording of the slides are gonna be emailed to you as always. People always ask in the chat, but I'm telling you now, we're gonna send the recording to you. Please use the Q&A. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of questions today, so use the Q&A, comment, use emojis. Y'all already know we love a good emoji in this house, y'all. So I wanna see it in the chat. Let us know how you're feeling. Keep the chat kind of respectful. And we don't do this anymore. I don't know why we don't do this anymore, but who's in the Facebook fam, y'all? Are you in the Givebutter Facebook fam? Because if you're not in the Facebook fam, child, we gotta fix something, that's one. But then two, we make monthly donations to people, but you gotta be in the Facebook fam. So if you're in the Facebook fam, I want you to say, I'm in the chat. I wanna know who our family is. I wanna know where our family is at. Let us know in the chat if you are in the Facebook fam. We're gonna go a couple of announcements and updates. We're gonna do some live Q&A. We're gonna end with some wrap up, y'all. But I wanna get to the content. I wanna get to but before we do that, actually, I lied. We're gonna do something first. We're gonna play 2 truths and a lie, because why not, right? Why not? We're gonna play 2 truths and a lie. I'm giving Tony a workout today. Okay.
I gotta jump over a power cord to get over here.
We love it. We love it. Okay, I gotta find the okay, let's do it. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second. Okay, we're gonna play 2 truths and a lie. The first, should we do Floyd or Tony first?
No, you do.
Okay.
Post first.
All right, y'all, I want to see you guys. Okay, so which one do you think is a lie? Okay, so Floyd has been to South Africa 3 times. Floyd sang in Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. Come on, Eastern Europe. And Floyd went to 5 countries last year. Which one do you think is a lie? Which one? I did a travel version this time because you know my passport is active, okay? So which one do you think is a lie? I've been to South Africa 3 times. I sang in Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, or I went to 5 countries last year. Remember, you're voting for the lie, okay?
I think it's the 5 countries.
Yeah, you don't even know. Which one do you think?
I don't know.
The 5
I
countries?
think it's 5 countries.
Okay, which one we think? Which one we think? All right, 5 more seconds, y'all. Which one?
5 countries in 1 year. It's not possible.
Okay.
It's not. That's a lot.
Monet say 5 countries. Okay, so we're gonna end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so y'all said more people. This was like you did not go to 5 countries last year. Y'all already know that I keep my passport active. Okay, your boy has stamps. So that one is actually true. The lie. The lie is I haven't been to South Africa 3 times. I've only been twice. But fun fact, I'm planning my next South Africa trip soon. So, and I'll get to 3.
I knew you had the 3rd trip planned.
That's why I can say that one. Okay, so all right.
We got screwed. People who voted for 3 countries all got screwed. We knew better.
I love it. Okay, next we're gonna do another one. We're gonna do it. Someone said sing for us. Oh, okay, we'll get there later. All right, how do I go to the next one? Okay, Tony. We're gonna do Tony's 2 truths and a lie. All right. Which one do you think is the lie? Tony likes, okay, we have a travel theme going on here. Okay, so this one's all about airplanes and airports. Tony likes the middle seat on airplanes. Tony has a hard time knowing when not to talk on airplanes. Y'all already know who that second person being like, oh, how are you? And you're like, I'm tired. And then Tony likes airports. Can you guys vote? A poll has been launched. Oh, I haven't launched it. Grace, it's not letting me launch. Hold on. How do I stop sharing? Okay, now launch. Okay, here we go. Okay.
You got more time to think about it.
Exactly. Okay, Tony likes the middle seat on airplanes. Tony has a hard time knowing when not to talk on airplanes, and Tony likes airports. Ciao. Who likes it? Well, I like an airport lounge.
I like travel.
I like an airport lounge. I upgraded this year to the lounge. Right.
I get in. It's
Passport Buddy. No, Lounge Buddy. Have you heard of Lounge Buddy? Y'all gotta check out Lounge Buddy. It'll let you go to the. Okay. Anyway, let's do 2 more seconds.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Share results. Okay. I don't even know. Let me guess. I feel like you definitely like talking to people. And I feel like you would like a middle seat. I don't know. So we'll do the middle seat. I'll do 3. Tony likes airports. Which one's the lie?
The middle one. I do know when to stop talking. I am not that guy. I can't believe you all think I'm that guy who doesn't know, I put my earbuds in, I got my book out, my iPad is on, and the guy in the middle seat keeps talking.
I see.
That is not me.
But you are the one in the middle seat.
I do like middle seat. I don't mind them. I don't mind middle seats. I think that I crave them, but I don't mind.
I love it. And
I do love airports.
I love it, y'all. We just had a little bit of fun because why not? Because we're fun people here. We're not a regular webinar. We're a cool webinar, right? Okay, well, y'all already met Tony a little bit, but Tony resides in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Don't they have a lot of turtles there?
We have turtles, we have birds.
Come on.
And a beach across the street.
Come on, all the things. I love it. He's the self-proclaimed plan giving evangelist. I love it. He was giving me the insights before y'all, and y'all, let me tell you, it's gonna be good. He's a host at the Plan Giving Accelerator, and a fun fact, in the Reagan years, he held the keys to, is that true? To 10 nuclear missiles?
Yeah.
Off duty, they started his Toyota?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Oh, see. I thought we stopped playing 2 truths and a lie. Wow. All right. Anyway, well, I am gonna give it over to Tuni. We're gonna talk the top 5 myths of planned giving. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Oh no, I should just keep sharing my screen. All right, here we go. Tony, are you on? Can the people hear you? Let me mute.
Now you can. I know you can. Hey, what a genuine pleasure. This is, I put on LinkedIn, this is not going to be your average webinar. You know, if folks who missed this one, it's your life. I can't help you. You made a bad choice if you missed it. So I saw on Twitter that the average attention span is 9 seconds. And I started thinking, that's enough time for my mother to create guilt. I'm coming over for dinner. Can't you stay for the night? I'm coming to stay for the night. Can't you stay for the weekend? I'm coming to stay for the weekend. Take me on a cruise. I'm taking you on a cruise. Can't you move back home? I'm moving back home. Let's get cemetery plots together. It never ends. And so that's a little story about, right, motherly guilt. I'm sure we all have experienced a little bit of that, I'm sure, motherly guilt. But on the next level, it's a story about deeper relationships, right? Deeper relationships. And that's what I want you and you, Floyd, to get out of planned giving. I want you to launch planned giving at your small, mid-sized nonprofit, and then you are going to enjoy those deeper relationships. Here's what we're going to talk about. What planned giving is, I got a simple definition, who are your best prospects, right? Because you want to talk to the right people, how to get started. I got some marketing tips for you, continuing ed if you want to go a little deeper, the all-important Q&A, and I will leave time. I will make sure that we leave time for Q&A. And in the course of all this, we're going to debunk these hateful, insidious top 5 myths about planned giving. A little definition of planned giving, what it is. This is a method of giving to your nonprofit where folks are thinking about very personal factors. They're thinking about how your work, your nonprofit, fits alongside their spouse, partner, children, grandchildren, maybe even dear loved ones. Sometimes good friends work their way into our plans, right? So they're thinking about how your nonprofit fits into their long-term plans. It's very different than them just writing a check, even a big check, or transferring stock or something. They're thinking about how you fit in their long-term plans. And for what we're going to talk about today, these are gifts of cash to your nonprofit at the donor's death, okay? There are other methods of planned giving. We're not going to talk about them today. They can be valuable. They're not on the agenda for today. We're talking about the simplest planned gift, and it's not cash until the donor has died. Floyd, you're on with the Floyd's doing the screen, the slides for me. He's on. He's just paying attention. He's got his. It's like I'm doing it myself. He's right on it. Okay, I call this "get a finger, grab a hand" fundraising. You'll see why. Any of these iconic brands and hundreds, maybe thousands of others. Since we got a travel theme going on with our 2 truths, 1 lie, you book a cruise. Is that the end, right? You book your room on the cruise. Is that the last you hear? And then you just show up for the cruise? You're just getting started when you book the room. You want the Wi-Fi package? You want the drink package? You want the excursions? Do you want to upgrade your room? Do you want special reservations at the fancy restaurants, the upgraded restaurants? The room is just the beginning. They encourage is being a polite word, to go further. And that's what we're doing. Now, I'm not saying that planned giving or any of your fundraising is transactional, like buying a cruise, a spot on a cruise. I'm not saying that at all. That's not what we're taking from these brands. We do relational fundraising. But what I am saying is the parallel is these are folks that have been already supporting your nonprofit. We're going to talk in a very brief minute about who the best people to talk to are. They're already supporting you, and you're asking them to go another step and include you in their long-term plan.
Okay, y'all, it's my turn to keep jumping in. I hope it's not too confusing. But one of the things that I really want to point out and say why this is super important is because what do we talk about all the time? We talk about community, okay? We talk about community. And so many people think, okay, planned giving, especially at small to mid-sized organizations, they think This is not for me. I don't need to focus on this. But the key is you absolutely have to, because God forbid anything can happen. But the best thing is you're not doing this a transaction. We're not just focusing on an event. We're focusing on a long time supporting, long time nurturing, long time relationship building. And that's what this is all about. So definitely pay attention. Thank you.
Oh, welcome. Come anytime. Come anytime. You're on. All right, a little slow on that one. All right, well, next one will be good. So your best, who are your best prospects for plan giving, right? You want to make sure you're talking to the right folks, as I was just saying. They love your work, your mission, your values. How do we know they love your work? Because your best prospects for planned giving have been supporting you for a long, long time. These are your consistent, loyal donors. When you go querying, you're looking for the folks that have been given to you for 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer, depending how long your nonprofit has been operating, right? And often multiple gifts in the same year, right? So you're looking for your long-term committed loyal donors. And ideally you want folks who are about 55 to 60 and over. And the reason I say that is because that's when folks start thinking about their long-term plans, like their will, as a method of giving back to the causes that have been important to them throughout their lives. So I'm not saying it's the first time, 55, you start thinking about your will. No, that's much earlier, especially if you have children. But as a method of giving back, that's roughly the age we start thinking about giving back through our long-term plans. And of course, with any new initiative, you're going to look to the board for leadership. I like to see 100% participation among the board, everybody on the board. And for this, I would suspend the age, doesn't matter age. Everybody on the board, when you launch your plan giving, should have your organization in their will, okay? I'm not saying you have to do that to launch, no, but that should be a goal, that all your board members do include you in their plan somehow.
I was just gonna ask.
Come on over.
Oh my God, here we go.
Come on over, jump over the cord, don't.
So a lot of times we talk about board involvement and board inclusion. And I know last month, a lot of people had a question about the best way to start getting boards involved. How would you approach this topic and even start a topic like this with your board?
I would welcome. Thanks for coming over. I would talk to the board, say, look, we're going to be focusing on planned giving, long-term gifts to our work. And it's important that we can go to our other prospects outside this room, because you're talking to the board in the moment. I'm going to look over at Floyd because you asked the question. I'm looking at Floyd, and say, it's important that we can tell our potential donors that every board member has included the organization in their will. Our board is already, sort of on board. Everybody has done it, and it's important for us that we can share that message with our prospects. And it's important for us to know that our most invested leaders are committed to our long-term, and they've included us in their will. So I hope that's not too subtle. Is that, Floyd, is that not too subtle? Is that too subtle? Is it coming across okay?
It's good.
Okay, it does come across. All right. This is not only for your wealthy donors. Notice when I was saying earlier, we're looking for your committed, loyal, long-term donors. I said nothing about how big those gifts are. So I literally mean, if you're looking at folks who've been given to you for 10, 20 years, or like I said, or longer, and let's say their average gift was $10, and they've been doing that for 15, 20 years, and maybe multiple gifts in a single year, and their average over all those gifts is $10, they are an ideal prospect for planned giving. They probably wish they could give you more, but for a lot of reasons, that they don't want to outlive their assets and security and things, they're just giving small gifts. But don't pay attention to those gift sizes when you're looking for those committed, loyal donors. Of course, wealthy donors, your major donors, they do count, but it's not only for them. And if you exclude the folks that make small gifts, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. You're making a mistake. All right. This is a little busy slide, right? But I'm going to talk through it quick. But the most astute among you will notice that the first letter of each bullet spells out our host, Givebutter. Yes. Now, if it was the Acme company, there'd only be 4 bullets, so we could talk through it a lot quicker. But they didn't call themselves Acme; they called themselves Givebutter. So we gotta talk through Givebutter. So you got to respect your small lifetime donors. It goes hand in hand with what I just said about not excluding them. Right? They are your future planned giving donors. Make sure you're sending acknowledgments timely for every gift. You get a gift of $5, they get an acknowledgement, right? They should. It's true, you can't know about all the gifts. That's because, now this is in the US, and I saw at least one person, it's probably a bunch from Canada, our northern neighbors. But in the US, it's probably similar, because we're not, in this respect, we're probably not that much different. In the US, for every gift that you know about, that you're in somebody's will, there's another 7 to 8 gifts that you don't know about. It's just so private and so personal to those 7 or 8 that they're just never going to tell you. So there are other gifts out there. So don't expect to know about every gift. And I should have said, just to make sure everybody understands, charitable bequests, that's a gift in a will. That's what we're talking about. It's the same thing. You can say they're exactly synonymous. Charitable bequest, gift in will. Okay? So that's the place to start your planned giving. And now we're talking about why that is. Look back at the gift, verily. I needed a V, it's Givebutter, so I need verily. So truthfully, verily, look back at planned giving history, at the giving history, to be amazed when you start querying for all those loyal, consistent donors. I often get chills, and I'm just looking at a one-dimensional, report from the CRM database, and to see the longevity that's out there in your database, it's remarkable. All right, here's a reason why this is the place to start your planned giving. This is charitable bequests, because these are the most popular planned gift by far. You name any charity, the biggest ones you want to think of in the States, University of California system, NYU, New York University, University of Texas, some big medical center, anyone, the Cleveland Clinic, right? I assure you, at least 75% of their planned gifts are these simple gifts in wills. And I've seen it go as high as 90% of all the gifts. So this is the place to start. This is the low-hanging fruit. These are the most popular planned gift by far.
I have a question. Oh, I think people can see me now. Hold on, let me bring myself.
You're welcome to come over on my
That's a lot of work.
Come on over here.
Okay, no, they can hear me. They can see me. Okay. Question. What would you say, is there a recommended amount that you ask donors to give, or when they're writing into their will? What's the language that you would recommend for something like that?
Great question. Yeah, you don't ask people for a specific amount. You're asking them to include you in their long-term plan, not for a specific amount. And you're just saying that, it's similar to what I had said with the board. We're focusing on long-term gifts. It's important for our longevity, for our sustainability, that we get these kinds of gifts. And we're asking our most loyal, committed donors, like you, to consider including us in your long-term plan, in your will. Is that something you would consider doing for us? There you go. There's your ask. We were on the bullet that said easily most popular planned gift. And I was explaining, 75% at least. Why is that? Very next bullet. It's so easy for your donors and for your team. 3 things are true. Everybody knows what a will is. Everybody knows how wills work. And everybody knows they need a will. Those 3 things are in your favor. That means you don't have to train your staff on charitable remainder unit trusts with net income makeup provisions so that they can go out and talk to your donors and educate them about charitable remainder unit trusts with net income makeup provisions. And yes, that does exist. We're not talking about it today, but I didn't just make that up as it sounds like a bizarre string of words, but it is a real planned gift. But everybody knows what a will is. Everybody knows how wills work, and everybody knows they need a will. Those 3 things. It's simple for your team because they know what they're talking to your donors about. It's simple for your donors because they know what you're talking about. You don't have to expend precious marketing time and money educating people about life insurance and charitable annuities and remainder trusts. Stick with the basic. the simple gift in donors' wills.
So we are going to have a Q&A section, but someone just asked a question that was really poignant to what you're talking about. And they said, what about for newer nonprofits? Because we do have a lot of small, mid-sized, and new nonprofits in our community. Should the verbiage, still be the same if there's not a long giving history with the donors?
Yeah. Now, I want to see at least 5 years of longevity for the nonprofit. The nonprofit. So, if you haven't been around for 5 years, if your organization isn't 5 years old, this is still valuable to you because you know what you're working toward. It's important to plan for the future, but the organization should be at least 5 years old, because otherwise donors are going to be a little suspicious about or concerned about whether the organization is going to live long enough to outlive them. So I like to see at least 5 years for the nonprofit. Understand, you're referring donors to their attorneys. That's if the conversation turns technical at all, like, well, I don't know, like there's different kinds of bequests and I'm not sure how to do it. And you are having a conversation with your donors about the sustainability of your work, the life of your nonprofit, the long-term life of your nonprofit. If anything turns technical, that's when you're referring them, very politely, of course, to their attorneys, because you're not experts in wills. You're experts in your work, and you're talking to people who love your work because they've been supporting it for so long. So talk about what you have in common, your mission. That's what the conversation is all about. And what does the next bullet say? You're talking about the value of long-term gifts to your mission and your values. That's what the conversation is about. You're not talking about death. It's about life, the life of your nonprofit. Don't let naysayers say, oh, I don't want to talk to donors about their death. It scares me. It scares them. Well, you're going to put the people right to bed. You're going to put that argument right to sleep. It's not a conversation about death. It's a conversation about life, the long-term life of your nonprofit. And you're talking to people who love your nonprofit. So when you get that objection to starting planned giving, you know how to deal with it. Expect cash, but anything of value. I've been doing planned giving for 26 years, and probably 98% of the gifts I've seen are just very simple gifts of cash. So again, you get those naysayers. Oh, people are going to put things in there. I don't like the naysayers. So I don't represent them very well. Oh, they're whiners. Oh, we're going to get things in people's wills. We're not going to be able to deal with. They're going to leave us real estate. We don't know what to do with it, and old antiques. No. Put those arguments to bed. Tony Martignetti said 98% of the gifts that we're going to get are very simple. The gifts we love, gifts of cash. Don't let the naysayers get you down with the other 1 or 2% of gifts. It's probably never even going to happen. All right, you know how to deal with that one too. And really, your planned giving program can stop right here, because it's not true that Floyd, that's your cue. Man, I hope you didn't work in stage. We have to offer a plethora of planned giving options. It's not true. It's not true. Don't worry about life insurance and charitable remainder trusts and gift annuities and IRAs and pension. Simple gifts in people's wills. That's where you start your planned giving. And if you don't ever want to go beyond that, you don't ever have to. But it's definitely the place to start, because of those 3 things I told you about wills. Everybody knows what a will is, everybody knows they need one, and everybody knows how they work. Use those things, leverage those things to your advantage. You don't have to offer a whole bunch of other gifts. You don't have to offer any other gifts. That's it. Wills, for as long as you're comfortable just dealing with and promoting gifts in wills. And that leads right into debunking myth number 3, that planned giving is so technical. Oh, we're going to need attorneys, and we're going to need life insurance professionals on our board, and we're going to need consultants. It's going to be so bad for us. Oh, those naysayers. Oh, it's too technical. We don't understand it. The naysayers again, right? I already said like 3 times, the three reasons that everybody understands what wills are. That's the place to start. It's not technical. Planned giving is simple. when you launch it correctly at your nonprofit. And now you know how to do that. Simple gifts in people's wills. So we're putting these naysayers aside. We're debunking these myths. We're down to three. We got two left. Go ahead, please, Floyd. All right, so here's where we've been so far. We looked at what it is and who your best prospects are and where you get started. We all know that now. You start with gifts in wills. And we've debunked 3 of those top 5 hateful, spiteful myths. I don't like them. I got some marketing ideas for you. Put a few speaking points into your remarks when you're doing events like this. It's so easy. Well, all right, don't start with that. We're focusing on long-term gifts for our work. It's so easy for you to include us in your will. If you'd like some more information about the value of, oh, thank you, Marcy. Marcy says yes. All right, Marcy. All right. Thank you, Marcy. If you'd like some more information about how these long-term gifts in your will can help us, please see Floyd at the end of dinner. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you got a joke, Jody Graber. Sorry, you're gonna miss it. All right. Watch the video, Jody. Watch the video for the rest. All right. I'm not gonna keep getting distracted by the chat, but I like to talk to people. I can't help it. I'm naturally curious about people. So put some simple events. What did I say? It was like 3 or 4 sentences, right? It's not paragraphs. It's not paragraphs into the events, right? And then also in the program, whether you do a digital program, print program, doesn't matter. You can put a little sidebar in and encourage people to explaining how simple it is for you to do this and who they should contact. Boom, that's it.
Somebody asked a question as well. Again, we will do Q&A at the end, everybody, so keep the questions coming, but whenever someone asks a specific question, I like it. What would you say is a simple call to action we can give supporters to do, right now, but when you're in an event? Like, I know you just talked about, go see XYZ down the road.
I didn't say XYZ, I said go see Floyd.
Go see Floyd. I might be at your, we can figure that out, child. Put Floyd on the road.
Yeah, put Floyd on, exactly. Have him come to your event.
I could talk about life. Say, don't worry about it. Anyway, don't get me started. But what would you say is like a simple way to approach it? Would you say, is it a lunchtime event? Or is it just like another one of the ways to get involved that people can list amongst the other things? Yeah,
I guess, the call to action would be, think about doing this. Think about including our work in your will. And if you'd like more information, go talk to Floyd. Don't talk to XYZ, talk to Floyd. But, it's just consider doing it. Consider including us in your will. That's it. And like I said, you can do that in 3 or 4 sentences. Okay, for print, got some ideas for some print pieces you might have. Sidebars, again, I'm a big fan of sidebars. Don't feel like you have to write 250, 300 word articles about wills and planned giving. You're not an expert in wills. You're an expert in your work. So simple sidebars. I'm a big fan of sidebars, like 50, 60 words, you can cover it. And plus, you do it in a little contrasting color on the side. Sidebar belongs on the side, right? But don't put your sidebar in the middle. That's a middle bar. Put the sidebar on the side in a contrasting color. It's easy. It stands out, and you don't have to write a whole bunch of words, hundreds of words. And beyond that, you don't have to get hundreds of words approved, right? You probably can't just do the sidebar and you put it right in. It's got to go how many letters above you, and everybody wants to tweak it. No, that should be an and, not an or. No, that should be a comma, not a semicolon. Why'd you put a semicolon there? Next thing you know, it's too much trouble. I'm trying to make plan giving simple. Sidebars. Use the sidebars. They're easy to write and they're easy to get approved.
I love this. Michelle says, at our annual volunteer board member and donor dinners, we share the planned legacy gifts received during the year in our presentation PowerPoint, and we see it grow each year. I love that because
brilliant,
you're
Michelle.
making it a part of the cadence of what you're doing. It's not like something random. It's not a one-off thing. It's just a part of the regular cadence of your organization. I think that is key.
Michelle, that is brilliant. Brilliant, Michelle.
People can see you on yours too, Tony.
I know, but I wanted to join you. I was missing you. Okay, so use your annual report also. Like Michelle just said, recognizing the planned giving donors. Michelle, you're on the exact right track. If you do an annual report, print or digital, it doesn't matter. If you're recognizing your other donors, then recognize your plan giving donors too. Absolutely. They deserve the same respect that all your other donors do. And you're inviting others to join them. You didn't like it when I jumped over there?
I mean, who made it work?
Unnecessary. Yeah, I didn't pull the cable out. Okay. Some digital strategies, digital tactics, probably more tactics. Simple page on your website. Notice singular, page. You don't need planned giving encyclopedias that some companies will sell you for $500 a quarter, and then it goes over to their site, and everybody can tell that it's not your site anymore, even though it looks like it. Everybody knows it's not your site. And there's this planned giving encyclopedia with all kinds of definitions and maybe a calculator. You don't need that. Don't pay for that stuff. You don't need it. A page, well, maybe a pull quote from somebody who's included you in their will, right? From a person or a couple, right? A little pull quote. Couple of sentences about how important long-term gifts are to your work. You can repurpose the remarks from the events. You can repurpose that sidebar language that you used. And then a contact person. Boom, there you go. There's your plan giving web page. Keep it simple. You don't need to have a plan giving site before you launch planned giving. You don't even need to have the page. If getting a web page up on your site is a monumental task, it takes 3 months. Do it later. Start talking to those committed loyal donors about planned gifts, because most of the gifts are going to come from your conversations with people and your outreach to them, either print or email outreach to them. It's not going to come from your website mostly. And here's a simple little tactic on your email signature. Everybody can put this in their email signature. Include us in your will. It's easy. There you go. Direct mail. So I was just talking about direct mail. But I'm envisioning here, this is direct mail that's devoted to some other purpose, because I'm trying to keep planned giving affordable. Not, you don't have to do direct mail devoted to planned giving. So if you've got other pieces going out, and you certainly do, drop a buck slip in the package. By buck slip, I mean, it's usually you see them, they're printed 3 on a page. So it's a third of a page. They get cut up, and you just drop that third of a page into your mailing. Third of a page. It doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't increase the cost of your postage. So you're printing 3 on a page, so it's cheap that way to print, and it doesn't increase your postage. And what do you put on that buck slip, that third of a page? Repurpose that sidebar from the annual report. Repurpose that sidebar from your event or your newsletter. Same thing. You got it covered. And another idea, use your reply envelope flaps for a checkoff. Oh my. Oh no, there's a spelling error, Floyd. Check of. That's supposed to be check off. How did that? I did the slides. All right. If Givebutter sends you a survey, I would say you should flag that on the survey. That slide number, whatever we're on. So that Tony's slide has a spelling error. I would not let that go. That's egregious. Shouldn't happen. Should not happen. All right. Try to forgive me, but it should say check off. And the idea there is next time you order a big supply of reply envelopes, right? The envelopes. These are the number 9 envelopes that people are sending back to you, right? It's inside the bigger envelope, sending back to you. On the flap that they have to seal, put a little check off. It says, send me info on including your organization name in my will. That's it, okay? And then whoever opens your mail, of course, they need to know to put those aside when somebody checks that box, right? You don't want to lose those replies back. But simple strategy, next time you're printing the envelopes, put that little check off on the flap. All right, myth number 4, that planned giving requires a lot of money. I just gave you a whole bunch of promotion strategies that are not expensive, right? So for the naysayers, no, it's going to be too expensive. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't do planned giving. Maybe in 10 years we could do planned giving. We just can't afford it now. No, you want to cut those naysayers down at the knees, cut off that insidious myth. It does not require a lot of money. When you're doing it simple, it's not expensive. And final myth, planned giving is going to hurt our other fundraising. Absolutely not. I've been doing planned giving since 1997, and I have seen it time after time after time. You know what is true? The exact opposite. People increase their other giving when they've told you that they've included you in their will. And why is that? because they feel so much closer to you. They have put your nonprofit alongside their husband, wife, partner, children, grandchildren, dear friends. Alongside all those loved ones is your nonprofit. They feel that much closer to you, and people very, very often increase their other giving to your nonprofit. You will see it. You will see it when you start talking to folks about planned giving and they tell you they've done it. You're going to see a lot of people, not everybody, of course, not everybody. You're going to see a lot of people increase their giving because it just comes to them how close you are to them. All right, this is where we've been. Let's go to the continuing ed because we got plenty of time. We want to leave plenty of time for Q&A. Continuing ed, if you want to learn more about planned giving, there's that same QR code. That's the same one that Floyd talked about earlier. My PDF, Unleash the Game-Changing Power of Planned Giving. You can scan that code and you'll get the guide. If you don't have a QR reader for some reason, you could go to tony.ma/guide. But there you go. That's if you want a little more information. I do host a course each year. It's called Planned Giving Accelerator. The next one is going to be in March of 2024. So I've already done the class for this year. Spring of next year, it lasts for 3 months. You'll be done by end of May. So no impinging on your summer plans. We'll be done by the end of May, and I will help you step by step how to launch planned giving at your nonprofit. We'll meet for an hour each week for those 3 months, March, April, or May. And the way, if you want to get info on that, just go to that same URL or snap the QR code, and you'll join the planned giving list, and you'll know when I start promoting the 2024 class. If you like to read books, hardcover books, there's a very good one, Planned Giving Simplified. I don't know if it's in digital because it's an older book, but it follows my focus on simple planned giving. It's a really good book. And I also host a podcast, Tony Martignetti Nonprofit Radio. It's not only about planned giving, it's about everything that I think small and mid-sized shops struggle with, like marketing, communications, of course, planned giving and all the fundraising topics beyond planned giving and naturally. Board relationships, legal topics, technology, everything small and mid-sized shops struggle with. That's called Tony Martignetti Nonprofit Radio. You can just Google it, and it's on. You can listen wherever fine podcasts are heard. Let's go to the Q&A, Floyd. Oh, okay. Well, there's the giveaway. Yeah, there's the giveaway again. Thank you.
All right. Just
same code
that we got that giveaway. We should take this show on the road. Let's do a podcast. We just keep the talk going.
And you're gonna hit all these events. You're gonna be hitting events from nonprofits across the country.
I already am.
Talk to Floyd. Talk to Floyd.
Oh yeah.
You want information? Yeah, talk to.
That's the next QR code, y'all. That'll be the next QR code.
Get Floyd at your event.
All right. So I want to start with board. Okay, a lot of people have questions about the board, so we will kind of bring a few of these together. So let's talk about how to get your board involved and engaged on this, because a couple of people have actually reached out and said, one person in particular hosted an event that was going to be all about planned giving with their board members, and none of the board members showed up. And even the board president said, you know what, this ain't for me, right? How do we start, one, focusing on life, like we talk about? How do we really focus on life and get really encouragement? But really, how do we start to change the topic around it? Because it can be a little bit of a taboo topic. What would be some of your suggestions around that to get board involved in there? Okay,
well, the taboo topic, remember, we're not talking about death.
Come on.
We're talking about life, the life of your nonprofit. I would say, if no board members showed up and the board president didn't show up, I'm questioning their commitment to your work. I'm not.
Well, another person said so many of our board members are worried about offending our donors when planned giving chats start. Is it more of a knowledge issue, or is it more about a mindset issue? Well,
it is knowledge. Yeah, I mean, they're worried about offending because they think they're going to be talking about the person's death. You're not. You're talking to them about what the two of you, the board member and the donor, the potential donor, have in common. You're talking about your work. How important, let's try putting it this way. what would your community, however you define community, right? It might be your local community, might be a state, a province, might be the whole country of Canada. However you define community, the world, what would your community look like if your nonprofit's work stopped 15, 20 years from now? What would be the impact on our community? Now I'm channeling the board member talking to the donor. What would be the impact on our community? It would suffer for all these reasons. Animals would start being killed again if it's a no-kill animal shelter. Folks would start going hungry again if it's a food bank, right, et cetera. And you know what the answer is for your nonprofit. How bad would our community be off if our work stopped? Well, wait, let me just, the gift that I'm talking to you right now about is intended to prevent that ugly future from ever happening. That's why I'm asking you for a gift in your will. That's what the conversation is about. That is not offensive when you're talking to committed long-term donors. They want your work to continue, and you're giving them a method to help it continue. So the board member who says offensive, yeah, it is education. They're in the wrong mindset. They think they're talking about people's death. They're talking about the life of your nonprofit. The word death never has to come in, it should never enter the conversation. We're talking, so that's re-education.
I love that. I think another thing that I would add and highlight is every time I talk about building community or building your relationship with your board members or your donors, I always talk about transformation. Right? When you're growing a community or building a community, you have to remember that your nonprofit is a bridge, right? We talk about this all the time. You're a bridge between where a donor is and the change they want to see in the world. You're a bridge between where your community is and the impact that you want to see in your community, right? And so a lot of the things that we need to do is how do we get out of that me mindset where you're just focusing on your own self, your own offensive, your own corner of the world, and how do you start focusing on we? What is the impact that we are going to make together, right? And then the best thing that I would say is, do you want your impact to only last while you're alive? And we're not talking about that, but you're talking about how are we making an impact that extends beyond you,
beyond each of us,
family,
extend beyond each of us.
Exactly.
Long-term giving. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Well put. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would really focus on that. And a lot of times people are asking like, okay, well, how do we actually start this? I don't think maybe the best way to start isn't even in a group setting, right? A lot of times when I'm approaching a topic or doing a new thing, I actually sit down with people one-on-one because you at this point, you're talking to your board members, you need to know who your board members are. So when you sit down with them one-on-one, you need to know what they care about. You need to know what makes them tick. You know, they need to know what they actually want to do and how they want to impact the world, right? So then you can cater it to them. So I would actually start by saying for the people who have had hard times with their board, sit down with them one-on-one, talk to them about your ambition and your intention, and then figure out how that you can work together to bring that to life and bring that to fruition, okay? All right, we had a lot more questions. Do we need an in-house counsel? I think we talked about this, but do we?
No, that was debunked myth number 3 or 4. We do not need expertise. Absolutely not. Everybody knows what a will is. Everybody knows how wills work. Everybody knows they need a will. No, that was an insidious debunked myth. You do not need expertise.
Oh my God, Grace has had a good line. I love it. A legacy is planting seeds in a garden you never get to see.
That's sweet. Okay, that's sweet.
Grace, it's from Nancy. Come on, Grace. Oh wait, another question. We got a few more. So after we do the sidebar pitch and they are on board, the actual information the contributor really needs to put us into their will is our organization's name, mailing address, phone number, contact name, and EIN, right? I mean, people don't put account numbers into their wills, do they? What I'm trying to say is the pitch is easy, but actually closing the deal isn't quite easy. Yes and no, right? I would say
yeah, there are 3 things. I guess I got lots of 3s, right? Okay. There are 3 things that folks need to include you in their will. They need your legal name, where you're incorporated. Legal name, tax ID, that federal EIN, your federal tax ID number that you share with everybody. And I know there's a counterpart to that in Canada. It's a charity number, I think. And they need your address. Those 3 things. That's all the information they need to give their lawyer. Your legal name, tax ID, address. Boom. That's it.
Somebody asked for small donors who give a little over a long time, how much do you ask for from their estate? And I think the answer that we don't ask for an
don't
amount.
ask for an amount, right? That's offensive. To ask, would you put $10,000 in your will?
Right.
No, you leave that to them. You have to leave that to them. Maybe they'll share the amount with you later. Maybe they won't. That's personal to them. But don't ask for an amount. Yeah, that would be a mistake. Just ask for them to include you.
I want to just continue to highlight what you said. I don't think that planned giving is really even about the gift. Like, this session has really opened up my eyes in so many different ways, because it's not about the number that they're giving you, right? It's about the fact that they want to continue to be contributing to you, right? You are still now getting to work with this person, or work with their family, or work with their community, or work with people that they're connected with. That alone is beautiful. So it's not even about, oh, how much you break up a piece of that, make the pool house. We're not asking for that. We don't care about that. Don't ask for the shares. Don't ask for that. Say, I want you to still work with us. I still want you to be a part of what we're doing, and they're going to want to as well. And so I love that.
I can add something while you're looking for the next question, Floyd. In the US, and I'll bet this is similar in Canada, because you're just as generous, if not more so, than us. The average charitable bequest in the US is $35,000. So average. So some come much lower, of course, some come much higher. The smallest gift I've ever seen in a will is $1,000. So your $50 donor, or that $10 donor that I mentioned early on, they're not putting you in their will for $10. No one does that. My 26th year in planned giving, I've never seen a $50 donation gift in a will. The smallest I've seen is $1,000. And again, in the US, the average is $35,000.
Wow. Okay, come on, y'all. What is a non-offensive way to invite them to let us know they have included us? Like the attorney would do that, I presume, right?
Well, to let you know, you could use, to let you know, use your reply cards. So any mailing that you might do, or if it's an email, a digital reply, very unoffensive way, just have a check off that says, I've already included you in my will or my other long-term plan. They may have done something else. You're promoting gifts and wills, but they might have chosen something else before they saw your promotions, right? So, you want to leave open the possibility that they did something different. So a little check off, I've already included you in my will or other long-term plan. And right alongside in that same reply device, again, whether it's print or digital, you want lots of checkoffs. I would consider including you in my will. I'd like more information about including you in my will, right? Any of those. Lots of ways for people to self-select that they're interested in the topic. But among those is a checkoff. I've already included you in my will. And another unoffensive way of doing it is in any of your publications. You do those sidebars. Maybe add a little PS into your sidebar. If you've already included us, please let us know. We'd like to thank you.
Someone has something that's very interesting. This is a little interesting. So I don't know the name, but don't we need paperwork to show they have included this? We featured a beloved donor in our annual report who told us they were giving a gift upon their death. When they died, they did not include us in the will, and the children told us that unfortunately there was no money available to give. That sounds like a soap opera. That doesn't sound like that's crazy.
That's a sad one.
Right.
It's also quite rare. Most people, and again, I've been doing this for 26 years. The vast, not just the vast majority, like the overwhelming number of people, when they tell you they've included you in their will, they do it. Now, that case, that's an outlier. There are going to be outliers. Remember, there are outliers in the positive too. There's that 7 to 8 who don't tell you for every one that you do know about. So it's not all a negative, right? It's not all that people don't include you when they say they will, which is quite rare. It's much, much more common that people do include you, but they just haven't told you because it's just so private to them, even though you're included. The question was, I think you said, do you need to have documentation? No, you don't need. Most of the clients that I work with, longer term, they accept. Somebody checks a box that says I've already included you. They pick up the phone and they give an effusive thank you phone call, and they write an effusive, gracious thank you letter or handwritten note. we just take people's words for it. If your nonprofit insists on having a document, you could do that, but just understand it's not going to be legally binding anyway. Even if that woman in that question had signed a document, it's not legally binding.
Right.
So the gift in the will might very well not have been there anyway, because anything you have people sign is not going to be legally binding.
Right.
They could change their minds anytime, but it's highly, highly, highly unlikely that they will.
Someone said, can you talk about realizing planned gifts? But I think that we've kind of talked about that a little bit, right?
Realizing, yeah, that means at their death, at the donor's death, there's a gift of cash to you from the estate because you were named in the will. To me, that's realizing the gift. But I want to be careful about something too. When someone tells you that they've included you in their will, that's when you welcome them and thank them. And you welcome them, meaning hopefully you have a recognition society for planned giving, just like you have recognition societies for all your other donors. That they get a thank you then, because they've made the gift. To me, the gift is made when they tell you that they've included you in their will. That's the gift. It's not cash until their death, absolutely, but they have made a gift. They've made a gift commitment, if you want to add the word commitment, and they deserve your thanks. And they deserve to be treated like an insider, like any other major donor. And they deserve to be welcomed to your Planned Giving Recognition Society. They have made a gift when they've put you in their will.
I love it. Okay, I think we have one more question.
Okay.
Can you add a survey and a reply device? I think that's kind of what you're talking about in terms of like the follow-up document. It can be a checkbox and all that different stuff.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, surveys are valuable. Yeah, they can be helpful. Just put in 1 or 2 questions about lots of our supporters include us in their wills. Is this something you would consider?
I love it.
There's a survey question.
There are multiple ways that you guys can do this. I see a lot of different questions about letters of intent. I think it's up to your organization how you want to do it. But Tony, do you have any final words that you want to leave with about planned giving?
No, I have nothing more to say.
Absolutely.
Don't be put off. Don't be intimidated by planned giving. That's why we're debunking these hateful, spiteful, insidious myths. And a lot of these myths are sometimes perpetuated by board members who say, we need experts. It's too complicated. We're talking about death. It's going to take from our other fundraising. It's too complicated. We have to offer too many options. There, I just summarized the 5 myths. None of those things are true. Don't let your board, don't let the naysayers bring you down about the possibility of launching simple planned giving in your small or mid-sized nonprofit. It is eminently doable when you do it the way I've described.
I love it. Well, y'all, can we give Tony a big thank you in the chat? That was a planned gift right there. He blessed us with all this knowledge. Can y'all give Tony a big thank you in the chat and let him know that this was amazing stuff? See all the love.
All right, thank you. Christine, Zachary, Jennifer, Mary Beth, thank you. Rich, Courtney, Marcy, Rachel, Regina, thank you.
Y'all, this was such good insight and such good information. Thank you. Awesome. So this was such good information. I love being able to chat about this, but I want to share with you guys, here is our upcoming webinar, Lights, Camera, Action, how to effectively tell your nonprofit story. Y'all, next month, you do not want to miss this, okay? We are diving into storytelling. Why? Because fall fundraising season is just around the corner and people need to hear your story, okay? What they say, your story is your glory or something along those lines. But y'all don't want to miss it. It's going to be an absolutely amazing session. But y'all, thank you so much for being here. You know you are my Givebutter fam. You are my people. Thank you for being here. And until next time, live your best life. We're going to end that with some Mary J, okay?
So long.